Okay, so are you interested in diving into the podcasting world but don't even know where to start? Let me give you the tea on Anchor. Not only is it amazingly easy, it's also free. Yes, I said it, free. Anchor provides you with creation tools that makes recording and editing your podcast a breeze. And on top of that, you can do it from your phone or your computer. Anchor distributes your podcast for you so it can be heard on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, and many more. See, I told you it was easy. It's everything you need to make a podcast quick and easy. Download the free Anchor app or go to anchor.fm to get started. Okay, y'all. So I'm so happy that you guys tuned in to my podcast, Level Uploading, Fight Feelings, Face Facts. This episode is going to be amazing, per usual. Not to toot my own horn, but toot toot. But anyway, I hope everyone had a great week. I'm so happy that you're tuning in and that you're, you know, checking back up with me each week. This is episode 4, and I feel like it's going to be awesome. Every time that you have things planned, of course, that you want to say, and you have these ideas of what you're going to talk about, and then you have the moments where you just kind of are hit with revelations, or the words that come out of your mouth are things that you don't necessarily even know that you're going to say. Like, I'm not reading off of a script. Like, sure, yes, I do have, bullet points and things I want to make sure that I hit, but I'm speaking to you like I'm having a conversation. I'm talking to you like you're my friend, like you my homie, like you sitting across the table from me. That's how I'm coming at y'all, okay? So, sometimes I have to remember that my authenticity matters more than me being perfect. Me being perfect is never going to happen. So, although I can strive to be my best version of me and the best version of the closest to perfection as I can get, I have to understand that I am literally fighting a losing battle because I will never be perfect. It just won't happen, can't happen. Sorry to this Shay, I'll live. But honestly, enough about that. I'm sorry, y'all. Y'all know I just talk so much. It's okay though, because I be trying to get y'all the tea, get y'all the words, get y'all the lessons and the blessings. It's all good. So last episode we talked about self-preservation and how that plays a big role in your level up journey, your elevation, your boundaries of how you are taking yourself very seriously and putting yourself first in all applicable situations. Now, there are, of course, situations where they're not, and we talked about that. So if you want to hear more about it, go ahead and click back to the previous episode, episode 3, which is survival of the fittest. Go ahead and do that. But for now, today, we are actually talking about self-care. And I kind of had to cut the episode shorter last time because I got long-winded, and so I didn't get a chance to really touch on self-care and all that it encompasses and everything that it entails. I just want to say this first. I think that people think of self-care as only the physical things that you do, but I think self-care can be routines, procedures, scheduled, planned events. It's not just getting my nails done, getting my toes done, taking a bath with some candles and some incense. Those are all dope versions of self-care, and you know what? I'm here for it, and I probably will do at least 2 of those things once I get off of this podcast. But we need to acknowledge that there is more to self-care than just those things. Um, For instance, you taking the time to groom yourself in the morning, that's self-care. Taking the extra time to make sure that you're fully moisturized and lotioned, that's self-care. Taking the time to pray or meditate, I'm not here to tell you what to do, but in my case, and I'm going to just speak on myself, pray in the morning and develop that relationship with God, that's self-care. um, Seeking out professional help if you need to, therapy, someone who has been trained properly to give you the feedback and the tools that you need in order to kind of address some of your trauma or your, I don't know, for lack of a better word, issues. I'm sorry, y'all. We all got issues. We might as well just go ahead and accept it. But we just need to really take the time to acknowledge that self-care can be so many different things. And I just don't want it to ever be a situation where we just think, oh, my nails are done, my hair is done, I got a cute bag, or I smell, it's those are amazing things. And when you smell, feel, and look good, you're going to always present better. But that's just it's not that shallow. Like, it's more to it than that. And I kind of want to talk a little bit about that. So let's go ahead and dive into that. Let's just dive in a little bit about self-care and how there is more to it than the obvious traditional cliche things that we consider self-care in today's society, such as, physical appearance type things. I don't even want to go into listing anymore. I've already kind of touched on that a little bit. I think you guys are smart enough to kind of get what I'm saying with this. So I'm going to go ahead and kind of speak about the other aspects of self-care. And one thing I want to really touch upon about it is that it's something that will come as you begin to love yourself more, and as you begin to value yourself, as you begin to see yourself as a temple, your body is a temple. What you feed yourself, who you allow to experience your body, let's just put it like that. The things that you do, and are you working out? Are you giving your body the best chance to have the most longevity? So those are things that are part of your self-love, and those are things that will come as you begin to love yourself more and more, and you get more in tune with you and how important you are. Like, every one of us has a special part to play in this world, whether we feel like it or not. And I don't know if you guys ever seen the butterfly effect, but if you weren't here, the whole world would be different. Like, your birth literally changed the course of time. I don't know if that makes sense, but that's how important you are. Every decision that you make, it's almost like one of those little graphs where it's like, if yes, then you go to this path. If no, you go to this path. Like, every decision that you make is taking you down a different path. It's changing the course of time and the course of reality. That's how I feel about it. I know that for me, of course, I'm a person that believes in God, and I do think that all of this is predetermined and predestined in whatever way that, however that translates to you. But I also do think that we also have free will, and so the choices that we're making, both good and bad, all play a part in how this world operates. And once we really start to see how important we are to the grand scope of things, I think that's when we will really start to place a higher value on ourselves and make sure that we're making decisions that are going to be, good for the greater picture. Y'all know what I'm saying. Basically, just making decisions that are based on seeing the bigger picture. I hope that makes sense for you guys. Just make good decisions because you matter and your presence in the world is powerful and it is impactful. Okay, so what is self care? Oxford Languages defines self care as number one, the practice of taking action to preserve or improve one's own health, and then two, the practice of taking an active role in protecting one's own well being and happiness, in particular during periods of stress. So, as you can see, it has both the physical and the mental aspects of it, and they both are equally as important. So, to me, okay, if you were to ask me, I would say self care is pretty much anything that I do where I'm like pampering myself, where I'm taking care of myself, where I'm prioritizing myself for sure. Like, where I'm basically just putting myself over everything that's going on at the time, no matter what that something might happen to be. So, yes, it can be as simple as like a routine beauty treatment, me time, going shopping, retail therapy is definitely a thing, okay? But stay off Amazon, y'all, because Amazon, I'm sorry, I ain't telling y'all to stay off Amazon, but you don't need that, sis. You don't need that random thing that you looking up. But anyway, like mental health days, even something as simple as playing hooky from work. Sometimes you wake up and you're just not in the mood. You're not in the right headspace to code switch or interact with your coworkers or be bossed around. Sometimes you just have to take those mental health days. And to me, that is considered self-care. But in the same token, it can and should be things that are more in depth, like getting active, meditating, working out. What else? Taking time to read, making sure you get the right amount of rest. You know what I mean? I rebuke the no days off. I'll sleep when I'm dead. That is no, baby. We can't do that. We're too old. First of all, we're getting up there. Like we're just getting older and older. We have to take care of our bodies, and that's a part of self-care. So running yourself into the ground, that is not doing you any benefit, honey. It's just going to make you more tired and more beat up the further down the road you get. I'm just saying, do with that with what you will, but I don't know who told us that us working until we're like about to pass out is quote unquote a good thing. I rebuke that. That is not a part of my life, and I hope that you will reevaluate it if it is a part of yours. But anyway, I get off track. I'm sorry, y'all. But yeah, I definitely think that it might sound silly that reading is self care, or it might sound silly that drinking enough water is self care. But how can I put this? I mean, all of those things make a huge difference in your energy. And I don't just mean like your aura, but like your energy levels, like how you feel. And your energy levels has a big impact on your attitude, and your attitude has a big impact on your whole well-being, mentally and physically. So all of those things, though they might not be quote unquote the stereotypical things that we consider self-care, we have to understand that they are important. Anything that you can think of where you're just putting yourself first and taking time out for yourself and just kind of, bossing up, making yourself the main priority for the moment. So, I mean, I mentioned working out. So whether I'm working out, I'm taking a walk. Say I'm taking a walk and I'm, working out, trying to get some some steps in, or if I'm just taking a walk because I need to clear my head. I'm stressed out. I need to de-stress. I think both of those scenarios of taking a walk are still considered self-care, even though they're both different, if that makes sense. So me walking for my steps, I'm exercising, getting my body active, getting my energy levels up, getting my nutrition and my well, not nutrition for walking, but just getting active, not being sedentary, and kind of putting my bodily physique first. That's self-care. But also me taking a slow standard walk because I'm about to choke somebody. I'm joking. Please don't choke people. But, that's also something that's self care. You have to step away for a minute, get some fresh air, breathe, de stress, decompress. That's still self care. So we just have to change our way of looking at self care as always being something that's so surface level. Got to get a little bit deeper when it comes to how we view our self care. So now that we got that part kind of out the way, let's go ahead and kind of get into the feelings and the facts. You already know that's why we are here. This is what we do, child. Feelings and facts. We are fighting feelings and we're facing facts. So the first feeling that I would say we need to fight when we're kind of starting to indulge in, our self-care journey, we need to fight the notion that we are, quote unquote, doing too much. Listen, that is, I feel like that's one of people's favorite sayings these days. Is all, oh, you're doing too much. You so extra. You this, you're that. And I think that one of the first things that occurs when you do start to take yourself more seriously, whether that just be physically or mentally, people are going to start calling you extra, diva, pretty boy, all of these adjectives. Basically, I don't want to say gaslighting you, but basically making it seem as if you're doing way more than what you should be doing. And if you ask me, that's that hateration, holleration, and that's for the dancery. That is definitely hateration because, honey, listen, there's absolutely nothing wrong with you taking time to do whatever it is that's going to help you look, feel, smell, dress. Look, what else? What other verbs can I use? There's absolutely nothing wrong with anything that you can do to make yourself feel better about yourself and make yourself feel good. And don't let anybody tell you differently. Like I said, haterade is going to be a thing. And if you are not prepared for haters, you are not prepared to be successful, you are not prepared to level up. There are going to be people who you never would have even expected to hate or to give you negative energy. When they start to see that elevation, it will become a thing. And I don't want to dive too deep into that because that's another topic for another day. We'll get further into that, but just as a side note, please be prepared for haters. Fortify yourself because it's necessary and it will always be. It's okay to care for yourself, and we need to really just accept that you only get one you. You can take care of everybody else, but at the end of the day, you only get one you. You need to treat yourself kindly. You need to treat yourself with compassion. You need to treat yourself with reverence. You are a powerful and impactful part of this universe. And if you're not okay, the whole balance of the world is off. That's literally how important you are. I wish people really understood how the smallest things that they might think no one cares about in their circle or in their family is still affecting everyone. Every little thing, that we're all interconnected. And so, like I said, if you're not okay, guess what? You throw off the balance of the universe. Don't do that, please, because you're probably messing up something for me. Listen, I told you, self-preserve. I'm being selfish Don't mess it up for me. If you don't want to do it for yourself, don't mess it up for me, okay? I'm just saying. But I mean, I don't know. It's one of those things that it does take practice to put yourself first. It does take practice to go the extra mile. It does take practice to show up to places overdressed. I told my friends my motto for the rest of this year and especially this summer is to overdress. I I don't care what anyone else is wearing. I'm not asking anybody else what they're wearing to the event. I'm gonna wear what I want to wear, and if I show up to your barbecue in a prom dress, you're just gonna have to be okay with that, okay? You're just gonna have to be okay with it because I'm gonna do what I feel my intuition tells me what's gonna make me feel good, and I'm not afraid anymore of being perceived as doing too much. That doesn't frighten me. Because if you come in there looking raggedy, they're gonna say you're not doing enough. People are gonna have their perspective regardless, and you need to just be okay with that. Make room for your perspective. Push all of their I can't talk. Push all of their perspective down and put yours on top of it, because yours is the one that matters. That's all I'm gonna say. That's all I'm gonna say about that. And so, like, okay, I don't really know about anyone else's upbringing, but I can say for myself, like, we didn't grow up balling or anything, but we also, I can't remember ever going without anything, necessity wise. And I'm super, super thankful for that because I definitely know that there's a lot of people who cannot say that and who, as they say, got it out the mud, started from the bottom. Now we hear all of that. I definitely get it. Whether you were balling, whether you weren't balling, I think the second feeling that we have to fight, it plays a big role. And that's the spirit of lack. I think that that's a feeling we need to fight simply because it keeps us small. It keeps our scopes, our viewpoints, our experiences limited. It just it puts us in a box that we don't belong in, and it gives us a ceiling because we're always grasping on to the bare minimum. We're not making room for new things. We're not making room for what is better for us because we're so scared of not having anything that we're holding onto this small thing when our hands are not free to accept the big thing. If that makes sense, I hope that makes sense. I don't know. I just think that we have to do a better job of being and embracing abundance. When I say being, I don't mean like actually being abundance, but being a blessing to people, whether that's monetarily or, energetically, supportively, whatever. We need to be abundance, but we also need to embrace it, accept it, and bring it in and trust and have faith that we are going to be fine. You throw out that shirt that you don't wear. It's been in your closet for 2 years, sis. You haven't worn it. And brothers, I didn't forget about y'all. Them shoes that you bought that you don't have nothing to match with them, and you don't even like them now. Like, it was a regret buy, a remorse buy. But guess what? You don't want to donate them. You don't want to give them away. You don't want to sell them because it's like, okay, well, I just got to keep. It's like we're hoarders of things. And that comes from a spirit of lack, and it comes from a poverty mentality that we have to let go of. We just have to. Because if we don't, it's honestly to our detriment. We have to make room for the new, the better, the best. Spend that money. One thing about self-care, you're going to spend money. Whether you're going to do your beauty treatments, whether you're going to spa days, and, buying new clothes, new scents and fragrances, whether you're buying workout equipment or new sneakers or whatever, you're going to spend money. And if you haven't wrapped your head around the fact that you don't have to hoard every single dollar that you ever make, you're not going to be able to do it. Now, listen, I'm not trying to tell y'all spend all y'all coin now. I'm definitely not saying just splurge out. I'm not saying that. I need you to have a savings account. I need you to practice good budgeting, good habits, because that's going to be very important and imperative. Because you can't level up and you're in a poorhouse. I'm sorry, don't work like that. I ain't never seen no leveled up person, that's struggling to pay their bills. So, I mean, you can slowly begin to level up, but you definitely want to make sure you're still having good spending habits. I don't know. I'm not saying I don't want to give you conflicting information or make you feel confused. So, you are going to spend money. You're going to have to be okay with spending money. But you also need to stop holding on to every nickel and dime like you never ever going to see it again. Like you'll never get it back. Like you'll never make it back. Like it will never come back to you. Being insecure with your money, it kind of makes it harder for you to attract it. It's unattractive. So think about it. If I'm insecure about myself and I'm trying to date, I'm unattractive because I'm insecure. It's the same thing with money. Money is looking like, I see Shay over there, but Shay insecure. I'm going to go this way. Being insecure with your money, it just makes it harder for you to attract it into your life. So do not let the fear of spending actually rob you of some once-in-a-lifetime experiences, some opportunities that you will never get back. We're all working, we're all surviving, and we're all trying to move towards a better life. And there will be times where you will have to fake it till you make it. But you still have to know that you'll be fine regardless. Now, don't go out buying every designer when rent coming up now, okay? But also, you shouldn't feel bad about buying a $15 facial cream if it's going to have your skin popping. You know what I mean? Like, yes, okay, $15 adds up if you keep doing it, but we live in such our mentality is so crazy when it comes to money and hoarding it and being, insecure with our money that something that could actually help us, we still looking at it like, oh, $15 for some cream? This $15 says you will make that back in 1 minute at your job. I don't know what your coin looking like, but still, I'm just saying, like, let's just not be so insecure with it and still have some discernment on smart spending habits while still having some pleasures and things that we need and want in life. Life is all about balance, and you have to find yours. Obviously, I don't know what your coin is looking like. Only you know your budget. So, hey, you know what's comfortable for you, but I think that it's up to all of us to release the spirit of money hoarding and realize that we cannot take it with us. We cannot take this money with us, and that doesn't mean that you shouldn't plan ahead or that you shouldn't, prepare for your future, but that also doesn't mean that you should live your life always looking at the future, because guess what? The future is now. At one point, you were trying to get where you are now. At one point, you were trying to be who you are now. And if you don't stop and actually enjoy now, it'll always be the future. It'll always be tomorrow. I'm saving this for tomorrow. I'm saving this for tomorrow. Saving this for tomorrow. Like, that's not how we live life. We're supposed to live in the moment, enjoy life, be prepared for the future, but don't live for it. I hope that makes sense. I really, really do, because I really think that that's the key, one of the main keys to kind of getting our head wrapped around self-care, because we have to spend money. I'm sorry, it's just one of those things. But anyway, you work hard, so spend your money. Spend it wisely, but spend it. Okay, please, responsibly. Spend responsibly. Okay, anyway, enough about that. I've lectured you guys enough. Let's move on to the facts. So when we start to embrace self-care, The first fact I think that we need to face is that when we feel cared for, we care for others much better. And I feel like when we care for, when we feel, um, what's the word? We exude a different type of energy when we feel cared for. When we feel neglected, we we have some trash ways when we feel neglected. Like, neglect can make people do some crazy, absurd things, say some crazy things, feel some crazy things. Let me see if I can think of an example. Okay, I got one. Okay, for example, say there's a mom and she just came back from a self-care day. She went to the spa. She got a couple massages, just like pampering, relaxation, stuff like that. And she comes home. And her kids are needy, as kids often are. She's more likely, that day at least, to have a little bit more patience because she's relaxed. She's sand out. She's had her me time. She doesn't feel, stretched so thin, at least for that day. Okay, versus mom comes home, she's burnt out, she's tired, she's agitated, she's fed up, she's been working all day, her feet hurt, she hasn't even eaten because she's been doing all this, and that. She's not going to have any patience. She's going to be the mom that's irritated and telling you to go sit down and get out my face and yelling and whatever, which nothing wrong with that. Okay, these kids need some discipline. They need a mama to get them in check and daddy to get them in check. But what I'm saying is that energy that comes from being cared for versus neglected and feeling neglected. The mom who's tired and burnt out, she feels like she doesn't even have a moment for herself. And that's why she is projecting bad energy onto her kids. That's why she's agitated and irritated, if that makes sense. I really hope that makes sense. I just kind of apply that concept to every aspect of my life. I feel like if I'm cared for, I'm going to show up to work, family events, relationships of all sorts with a much better and positive attitude. And by doing that, I'm usually going to get a positive response from the people who I love and care for. I just don't want people to shortchange themselves because honestly, taking care of myself has been like the biggest difference in me slowly beginning to level up. When I started caring for myself more, I showed up better for the people who I love. Like, I showed up whole and cared for and not irritated all the time and agitated. I just showed up way better, and I think that that's key. The key to success, I'm telling you. And when you have that sense of what do I want to say? Like a sense of calm and peace from just knowing that you're good. Your star player is good. Your interactions with other people are going to be so much better than when you're spread thin and resentful or, just annoyed with everything because you're tired. Because you're tired of putting yourself last. It works. I'm telling you. Just please, 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 please give it a try. See how your life will slowly begin to look and feel brighter. And not only that, but other people will start to notice as well. The second and final fact that I think that we need to face when it comes to self-care is if we're not taking care of ourselves, why would we expect anyone else to? Now, I know that's a question and formed in a question and not really a statement, but I think that's pretty self-explanatory. We have to stop expecting someone else to love us more than we love ourselves. It's just not realistic. It's not fair. We are the ones that show people how to treat us by how we treat ourselves. We set the standards for what is and isn't acceptable for us. What's not okay. If I'm neglectful and looking crazy and don't look like I care about myself, more than likely people are going to treat me with neglectful treatment. You know, those days when you walk out looking $1,000,000, you notice that people receive you differently. And I'm not just talking about looks, but I'm just using that as an example. They receive you differently. You know, that you get the door gets held for you, and let me get that for you. Oh, you know, you get a different type of energy from people because they want to treat you how you're presenting. So if you show people that it's okay to neglect you, guess what? They're going to do it. If you neglect yourself, people are going to say, oh, well, you know, why should I go above and beyond for this person? They're not going above and beyond for themselves. Also, this is a bonus. This is my last point because I know I talk too much. I am sorry, y'all. I love y'all for listening to me. But anyway, I need y'all to stop expecting other people to put your needs above their own when you lack boundaries. Because your lack of boundaries serves these people well. Your lack of boundaries helps them. They like the fact that you are the Captain Saver. They like that you play a martyr. They like that you put everyone else, including them, ahead of yourself. That makes it easier for them. They get to love you, but still be ahead of you. So they're never going to volunteer to put your needs before theirs. Maybe here and there just to feel better about themselves, but even that's a selfish act. Take care of yourself. Please, please, just start taking care of yourself. And don't feel bad about it, and don't let anyone make you feel bad about it. I'm going to leave it on that note. You guys, thank you so much for tuning in. I am so appreciative of all the support and love that I've been getting. I hope you all have a great week. I hope that this weekend is amazing for you guys. Enjoy the new things that you're learning. Enjoy the self-care. Go out and have a couple treatments, a spa day, a haircut, get some braids. I don't know. But have a good one. Please, please, please enjoy. Thank you for listening. Have a good one. Bye.